I've been researching what are the effective or appropriate behaviors for leaders today. And I was meeting with a friend of mine who is also kind of a mentor, who's an extremely successful executive, been around for a long time, done a lot of things. And I was sharing this with him, and I asked him what is the critical behavior that he sees. And without pause, he came out hopeful. An effective leader is a hopeful leader. I guess I got a lot to learn. I didn't even have that one on my list. But it makes sense. When you look back at his career, everything he's done, he's been extremely successful and has been infused with a positive attitude and with hope. That's been the tipping point that took him from being very effective to being very successful, the differentiator. And I never got that. And so I began to wrestle with that idea. What does it mean to be a hopeful leader? Well, being a hopeful leader is to be somewhat rebellious. To realize that life is not meant to be dull and drudgery, neither is work, neither is a career. After spending time with him, you come away feeling good. You're feeling kind of hopeful. It's contagious. And that rebellion is contagious as well. So I think a hopeful leader really is an act of rebellion. It's like the little book we read for our children, about the little train that kept saying, I think I can, and I think I can. It's that active rebellion in the midst of those struggles to remain hopeful. And sometimes being a hopeful leader is no more than a hunch. If you've read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink, it's something that we know intuitively. It's a feeling, it's a sense of hope and optimism that we have that sometimes data doesn't show. Sometimes hope is nothing more than a speculation that you can put together some of the dots and connect them and then make an aggressive decision. For something to be hopeful, it has to be meaningful. They're just attached. It's hard to get people to pursue something that has no meaning or have any hope in that as well. So if when you're working, to quote Lencioni, people have to feel that what they're doing means something. Hopeful leaders create a positive ethos on their teams. Shane Lopez, who teaches at the business school at the University of Kansas, says in his research, he has found that positive leaders, hopeful leaders, encourage people by saying, you can make a difference, and if it's going to happen, it's going to be you that's going to be instrumental in making that. Hopeful leaders believe it can be better, and they believe that they can do something. Another mentor of mine, though long, long gone, I've never met him, but I've read him, is Soren Kierkegaard. Struggled in his early life, died very young. But he wrote about hope, and he said that, being in a boat that springs a leak and still pumping to keep the water out. He said, that's not just hope. He says, but it's being in that boat when the waves are raging and the boat is sinking and still rowing, even though you don't know where the port is. He said, that's hope. And he says, if something is wrong with that picture, it's just the picture itself. He was giving an image of what it means to be a hopeful leader. Sometimes our organizations are struggling, but hopeful leaders keep infusing that hope. They keep paddling with everybody else. Even though they don't know the outcome for sure, it's the positive attitude that keeps going. Maybe that's one of the key behaviors for an effective leader.